Hello lovely viewers, you are most welcome to our channel. In this lesson, we shall be discussing the detailed analysis of Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Ulysses is a Greek hero in a Trojan War, a war which was mainly between the Prince of Troy and the King of Sparta. After the fall of Troy, he travels 10 years to explore the world. When he arrives in his kingdom, he yearns to explore the world again, despite his reunion with his family. Let's now take a detailed analysis of the lines contained in the poem. It little profits that an idle king, by his still heart among this barren crowd, matched with an aged wife, I met and dull unequal laws unto a savage race that hoard and sleep and feed and knows not me. The poem begins with a bored, dissatisfied king who can't stand the thought of sitting around the house with his wife all day, eating, sleeping, and settling disputes. The phrase "it little profits" is another way of saying useless. Met means to measure out. Unequal in this point means variable or different. Matched means paired or partnered. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the least. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that love me and alone on shore, and when through scattering drifts the raining heights vex the dim sea. Here, our poetic speaker tells us that sitting around doling out rewards and punishment is so boring to him. We learn that he is a restless spirit who doesn't want to take break from roaming. In search of adventure, Ulysses doesn't want life to pass him by. The word lace originally refers to sediment accumulated at the bottom of a bottle of wine. To drink life to the least means to drink life to the very last drop. In modern English, we would say, live life to the fullest. Again, our poetic speaker tells us that he has a lot of good times and a lot of bad times, sometimes with his best friends and other times alone, both on dry land and while traveling or sailing through a disastrous storm. Scattering drifts are showers of rainfall one might encounter at sea during a storm. Heights are a group of stars associated with a rainy season. I am become a name for always roaming with a hungry heart. Much I have seen and known, cities of men and manners, climate, council of government, myself not least by honored of them all, and drunk delight of battle with my peers, far on the ringing plains of windy Troy. I am part of all that I have met. Here, our poetic speaker tells us that he has become famous, or he is now a household name because he has traveled to many places. Moreover, Ulysses portrays himself as a traveler who has seen variety of places with different manners, weather, government, to mention but few. The phrase hungry heart means insatiable desire to see more things. Yet, all experience is an arc where through gleams that untraveled world, whose margin fades forever and forever I move. How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine in use as though to breathe were life. In this line, Ulysses further justifies his longing desire to keep traveling and living a life of adventure. He compares his life to an arc and describe the untraveled world as a place of gleam. Here again, our poetic speaker likens himself to some kind of metallic instrument that is still perfectly useful and shining, but just rust if nobody uses it. For Ulysses, life is more than just breathing. It is full of adventures. Life piled on life were all too little, and of one to me little remains. But every hour is saved for that external silence, something more, a bringer of new things and vow. It were for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself, and this great spirit, yearning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star, beyond the utmost of human thought. Here, our poetic speaker tells us that multiple lifetimes wouldn't be enough for him to do all that he wants to do. Even though he is an old man, near the end of his life, he wants to make the most out of it. The phrase 3 suns means 3 years. This is my son, my own Telemachus, to whom I leave the script and eisel, well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labor by slow prudence, and to make mild a rugged people, and through self-degrees subdue them to useful and the good. Here, Ulysses introduces us to his son and heir, Telemachus, who seems like the right guy for the job, to take over from his father. He is smart and knows how to make people do things without being harsh about it. Telemachus has slow prudence, meaning he's patient and willing to make the best decision for his people. Ulysses describes his people as rugged, which means the people are uncivilized and uncultured. Soft decrees implies that Telemachus will civilize the citizens of his kingdom in a nice way. Most blameless is he, centered in sphere of common duties, decent not to fail in offices of tenderness, and pay meet adoration to my household gods. When I am gone, he works his work, I mine. Here, our poetic speaker tells us more about his son's qualification. Decent not to fail means that Telemachus is smart enough not to fail at doing nice things for the people and to pay proper respect to the gods of his home. When I am gone means Ulysses is planning on going back to sea for more adventure, or he is actually talking about his death. There lies the port. The vessel pours her sail there. Gloom the dark broad seas, my mariners soul, that have toiled and wrought and taught with me, that ever with a flourish welcome took the tender and the sunshine and opposed free hearts, free foreheads, and you and I are old. Old age has yet his honor and his toil. Here, Ulysses shifts our attention to a port where a ship is preparing to sail. Gloom in this instance means darkness. Tender and sunshine are used to mean good times and bad times. Ulysses' mariners have gone through the thick and thin for Ulysses. Moreover, Ulysses suggests that even though old age makes one a respected person in society, they come with a lot of responsibilities. Death closes all, but something at the end. Some work of noble note may yet be done. Not unbecoming men that strive with gods. The light begins to twinkle from the rocks. The long day wanes. The slow moon climbs the deep around with many voices. Here, Ulysses observes that sunset and the arrival of night. But it seems he is talking about his own death. In this stanza, our poetic speaker knows very well that death is the end of everything, but he holds the firm belief that he still has a lot to do before his time catches up with him. Ere is an old poetic word which means before. He uses the end of day to mean in the last stages of a person's life. This stanza reminds us of death or people mourning the death of someone. Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off and sit in well, in order to smile. The sounding ferries for my purpose holds, to sail beyond the sunset and the bath of all the western stars. Until I die, it may be that the gulf will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isle and see the great Achilles whom we knew. Here, Ulysses is addressing his friends who have been listening to him all this while. It's never too late to go in search of newer adventures. Our poetic speaker seems to be okay with the thought that he and his companions may die as a result of old age. He tells us that death will give them a chance to meet an old ancestor such as Achilles. Therefore, death is a passage to the next world. Here, a furrow refers to the track or marks made in the water by the ship. Purpose in the poem can mean destiny or intention. To sail beyond the bow means Ulysses really wants to go far beyond the horizon of the known universe until he dies. Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now the strength which in old days moved the earth and heavens, that we are one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Here again, Ulysses tells us that even though they are old and don't have the strength they used to have in their younger days, there's still enough strength left for them to explore more lands. Abide is a word which means remain. The conclusion line tells us that they are old and broken, but they still have the will to seek and face newer challenges without giving up. Thanks for watching today's video. Do enjoy the rest of our videos, and please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.